was the summer of 2014, and for my son's bar mitzvah present, just like many Jewish parents, we wanted him to bond with the Holy Land. Oh, it worked perhaps too well. My husband had stayed back at the hotel, and our friends, my son and I, had just stopped in a pharmacy.
Run to the bomb shelter, sweetie, please hurry. I didn't hear the sirens at first, but the Israelis did. They're used to hearing these things. We ran to the back of the storeroom. It was a 12-foot by 24-foot windowless bomb shelter. My heart's pounding. Boom! Boom! I hear and feel the percussion of the exploding bombs. I'm trying not to get sick. I look at my 13-year-old son and I think I'll never forgive myself if something happens to him.
That's an excerpt from a speech I gave to the Orange County Jewish Bar Association. It was the first, but not the last time we had to run to a bomb shelter. Our adventure and my transformation is also the subject of my book, Blasted from Complacency, A Journey from Terror to Transformation in Israel. There is no chapter in a parenting book on what to do when a war starts and you're on a family vacation. Think touring extraordinary and sacred sites mixed with cowering in bomb shelters. I'm still trying to get over the Jewish guilt of taking my son to war for his bar mitzvah present. The impact of being human targets helped me understand the plight of Israelis living like this, and it also made me want to work on peace. How Israel is often described on the news is not what I'd seen with my own eyes. And I felt Palestinian parents also preferred their children playing safely in their backyards. The missiles exploded just near enough to blow apart my world as I knew it, forever changing me. And you'd never recognize my life today with what it was like then. I believe I found my life's purpose. Hello, I'm Penny ST, and I'm the host of Peace with Penny. In my Times of Israel blog today, we'll be talking about Ramadan's past. Now, will there be freed hostages before Passover? Let's hope the hostages being held don't become remembered by successive holidays that passed while Hamas cruelly used them as pawns, and their families missed their company at their celebrations. On CNN, they reported that Israel believes there are 99 hostages alive and 6 are American. Hamas is holding the bodies of 31 who have died. When will the hostages be freed from Hamas's tentacles? On the list of wrongdoings to refrain from during Ramadan is sinful behavior. It doesn't seem that Hamas cares any more about religious beliefs than they value the lives of their people that they've used as human shields. Passover is approaching soon, and it is a celebration of freedom from bondage, the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. Let's hope that by Passover, we will also have welcomed the return of the hostages. God forbid that the 4 questions are still, when will the hostages be freed? Why is Netanyahu risking more harm to hostages with military actions? Why is the world not providing more help to release the hostages or ensuring that they are not abandoned as a distant memory? Once the hostages are released, who will help them, their families recover from the torture they've seen and endured throughout these painful months? At 5 p.m. Israel time, Saturday night, March 3rd, I received several audio messages, pictures, and videos from Phil Saunders, the peace advocate mentioned in my 2 recent Times of Israel blogs. Peace exists today between Israelis and Palestinians? Yes. And as Ramadan approaches, will peace hold? As well as this Times of Israel blog. Will there be freed hostages before Passover? Let's hope the hostages being held don't become remembered by successive holidays that passed while Hamas cruelly used them as pawns, and their families missed their company at their celebrations. Phil is like the ever-ready bunny, and he never quits working on peace. But then how can he? He lives this cliffhanger wondering if the peace they've worked so hard to build between Sur Hadassah, Beitar Illit, and Husan can stand the current challenges. Phil Saunders and Ziad Sabatine are incredibly hardworking peace advocates, and they slog through many difficult situations And in my blog on March 5th, peace exists today between Israelis and Palestinians? Yes. I alluded to the fact that, in my opinion, they're both superheroes, sans the tights and capes. Well, I still feel that way, and I have no ability to give them both the Nobel Peace Prize, but I could do this and give them a laugh, which, given the war and stress about Ramadan, I was sure they could use. Thanks so much, guys, for all you do to make the world a better place for both of our peoples. I wondered what adventure was unwinding as the sun was setting on Shabbat.
And I am right now at the entrance of Jerusalem, waiting for the hostage families to arrive. They're completing their march all the way up from the area where the Nova Festival was to Jerusalem, and we're going to be joining them in the final part of the march. So, okay, there's never a dull moment around here, and we are all preparing up for Ramadan. Is the big test. What's going to happen? Is something going to get sorted ahead of then? We're waiting and preparing. Hope you're well. Speak soon.
It turns out that he and his wife were waiting for the marchers demanding the return of the hostages to arrive in Jerusalem, where they intended to walk in solidarity with them until the end of the march. This time, Phil was working on peace of mind for the hostage families and his country. I was excited to receive a blow-by-blow description and videos of their experience. First, he could see the policemen preparing for the massive crowds. It's been reported that 15,000 to 20,000 attended. While I waited for more updates, I wondered if the government protesters would show up here. The Israeli police had been riding on horseback and using water cannons on them at some of the demonstrations. I remembered reading that some of the hostage families had been amongst those who were having their anger cooled down by this display of force against their own Israeli citizens. Which means release now. At one point in their trek, they stopped beneath Cords Bridge, an architectural wonder that Times Magazine named Jerusalem's first shrine of modern design. It was a poignant pause as each of the hostages' names were read. Some have suggested that the cables look like the strings of a harp, and that perhaps the bridge symbolizes King David's harp. While learning this about the Cords Bridge, my mind wandered to the soft, soothing music of a harp, and I imagined angels playing for the lost victims of October 7th. As I followed this gentle trail, I wished that the hostages were able at times to find some peace from their fear, though in reality I suspected this would only be a fantasy that I wanted to be true. May they be comforted. Phil and his wife walked for about an hour and a half to get to the finish line. Cohen, mother of Elia Cohen, spoke at the end of the march. Her son is a 26-year-old hostage who was at the music festival and tried to hide near dead bodies with his girlfriend. He was found by the terrorists, dragged to a pickup truck and taken away. His girlfriend miraculously escaped. Ms. Cohen praised the soldiers fighting to get the hostages back. The mental anguish for a parent must be unbearable. Reading about others like his girlfriend who had escaped or those who had been released seemed like a cruel game in which she had chosen the shortest straw. I couldn't help but think of the interview I had done that morning as I spoke with a mother whose sons had been fighting in Gaza and only one had come back thus far. She stalwartly said she was proud of them, but I wondered at what cost she was able to keep a stiff upper lip. She acknowledged that this kind of life wasn't for everyone. I admitted to her that I knew for a fact after our taste of war in 2014 that I was raised on too much chicken soup to deal with the continual terror attacks and now war. Once again, I was reminded that as humans, we've been too slow to learn that violence merely begets violence. It's barbaric and ineffective. I probably won't surprise you by now, but Phil also has another NGO that he works with his partner Mario Shechman called Challenge, and he is the president of the board of directors. Challenge envisions a thriving shared society embracing the full diversity of identities and opportunities in the entire land that Israelis and Palestinians call home. Established in 2010, they provide conflict transformation training to peace builders, including their flagship Path of Hope and Peace project, with a pioneering new paradigm for peaceful coexistence in the Holy Land, the Hussein Beitar Elite and Sur Hadassah model. Additionally, they established the Federal Forum, embracing numerous creative federation and confederation alternatives to the two-state peace proposal. I was honored when Challenge asked me to interview the authors of the 6 solutions to hear their ideas of what a plan for after the conflict would look like. I completed 2 interviews last year, the first with Yoel Oz of the Abrahamic Movement, and the second with Emmanuel Shehoff of the Federal Movement. I have others on schedule this year. Thankfully, it's not my job to evaluate the ideas as to which would work best. Besides, I'm in the diaspora. I don't feel it's proper. I'll leave that to the experts. However, I'm always interested in people who work on peace regardless of the path they take. One positive of this horrific war is that the world is talking again about the day after the war and visions for peace. Most people don't know about these proposed choices of peaceful coexistence. The two-state solution never was able to get anywhere, but it's what people know. The way I look at it is if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different answer, well, that's just fill in the blank. These videos that I record for my Times of Israel blogs are just little shorts of what's happening with the various peace organizations and activists. For the Peace with Penny full interviews, go to either our Peace with Penny YouTube channel or my website at www.pennyst, which is tee.com. Next time, why not watch Peace with Penny when we will be speaking with Natalie Sopinski of Rescuers Without Borders. In short, they save lives of Israelis and Palestinians and wherever tragedies happen around the world. They are often first on the scene of all types of medical emergencies, including on October 7th. They help whenever there are the unfortunate terrorist attacks that occur consistently throughout Israel, as well as worldwide emergencies such as the earthquake in Turkey in February 2023. We'll hear about how busy they were on October 7th and since. They're also a peace organization, yet they often have to keep their efforts quiet from the communities they both help and train. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict gets complicated even when trying to save lives. They serve and train both Israeli and Palestinian volunteers to provide the life-saving techniques, arriving first on the scene, awaiting transportation to hospitals that can be more than a half hour away. The entire world seems to be hurting, whether from war, hunger, disease, or just life. There is too much stress for everyone. Psychologically, the suffering seems endless. I'll play for you Michael Hunter Oakes' A Song for Healing, Refuah Shlema, in the hopes that it will provide some comfort, as only music can.
Do you ever feel so fragile, like a sparrow against the wind, like the world is Healing of the spirit, may we soon be whole. Refuah, 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 shlema, refuah, 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 shlema. When the world is dark and troubled, when the shadows conceal the sun, and when neighbors become strangers, then from where will our help come? Healing of the body and a healing of the heart, healing of the spirit and the broken parts, healing of the body, grant us healing of the soul, healing of the spirit, may we soon be whole. Refuah, 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 shlema, refuah, 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 shlema, refuah,
Healing of the nation from sea to shining sea. May we be the change that we want to see. Healing of the ocean, the rivers and the streams, the mountain and the valley and the air we breathe. Refuah, refuah, shlema.
If you would like to donate to Peace with Penny or help in any way, please contact Peace with Penny at penny, the letter S, TEE.com. If you missed any episodes with Peace with Penny, please check out our library of interviews, which can be found on our Peace with Penny YouTube channel or at www.penny, the letter S, TEE.com under podcasts. We pray that the wars currently waging will end soon and that children everywhere will again enjoy a childhood full of love, play, and safety. Amen. May you live in peace, shalom, and salam.